Hi, welcome to our channel. Now we are continuing with our not weekly, now it's a daily indices view, and we had started it yesterday, and we had uh, described this in a great detail, and the same counts are there in this charts as well. So we started with Nifty, we'll continue with Nifty. So today Nifty gave us a little uh, rally upwards. Now this does not look like it will continue for a great moment. Uh, this is expected to come down. Now, why I say so? It's the structure that is making a Y, and will probably see a retracement back to 61.68%, which is somewhere close to 24,500-ish range, and from there it may go on. It will complete a Y, and then it will probably go on to make a higher move there. It can get out of the correction, or it can get into a triple correction. I think that is something the price will tell. But it's a last down move that is expected in Nifty. Similarly, in 15 minutes time frame, I think because there was no question of this trend line, that trend line that we had drawn yesterday was broken in the early morning sessions anyway. This was Nifty. Then let's look at Bank Nifty. Okay, Bank Nifty, again I'm holding the same counts. Nothing is changing. This is the same range that we spoke. In fact, the price touched 111% today, which is 55,460 something. And from there, it has started a rally upwards. Now, this continues or this does not continue. Let's look at it. I think it is holding the earlier count now. This is after X, this is A. This could probably make a B, and then it could come down to make a Y later. C of 5 is what we think it could make. Now there is one more aspect that we want to discuss today in this chart. So here is the open interest data. I have plotted the whole value of open interest for call options versus Bank Nifty closing on a daily closing here. And on the right side, we have Bank Nifty closing and open interest for all put options. And I've taken strikes of 55,000, 55,500, 56,000, 56,500, and 57,000. Now, why these five? Because that's the range I think that is where we have seen the activity. And again, I'm taking the 500, the values divisible by 500, just to expect a little more volume into those strikes. Now, when you see that Bank Nifty is going sideways, and from say last week of July, that is 23rd, 24th July, Bank Nifty has corrected to about 1.5 thousand points. Uh, if you see this black chart, black line here, this is open interest for calls. So the calls have come down, which the value of calls traded or open interest for calls was 130 CRs. That has come down to 48 CRs today, right? So these probably were call buyers, and as the price dropped, they squared off their positions. On the other side, when the price dropped, actually the put buyers remained and they held their position. So the 57,000 put again has a very good amount of value uh, added into it. It has remained constant. In fact, it has fallen just today, but still it's a considerable value of 187 CR. So this is probably the put buyers who are yet to square off their positions for 57,000 strike price. Now on the other side, when we looking at two charts here, 55,500 and 56,000, both 55,500 and 56,000 calls have increased. The value of calls, or the money put into the calls, has increased. Similarly, this has fallen down. So the value at 56,000 and 55,000 put were higher on 1st of August compared to what it is today. So here there is a buyer sentiment that is growing, and probably we can see the prices rising above these levels from here. As if the price rises from here, we'll see these put buyers squaring off their positions and probably will then have a higher value into calls of 56,000, 56,500, and probably even 55,500 also. So in a nutshell, what we are trying to say is this is supporting the counts as on that are displayed here. So we may expect a short-term rally here, and from there the price could pull down. Again, we'll review this for another week or so. We'll do it every day probably, just to see how the open interest plays out against different prices when the bank nifty values increase or decrease. So for today, what I feel from the data here and also from the counts here, that we may expect a good rally into bank nifty tomorrow, and it can make a slight higher peak here, and from there it could retrace back. So let's see if this hypothesis holds true tomorrow by the data, and again we'll come back with the data uh, by the end of the day tomorrow, and to see a comparison I'll probably in fact add into the same charts just another data point, the closing of bank nifty and all these open interest in calls and puts. So let's stay tuned. Let's see this tomorrow again. Thank you so much.